Wagwan and welcome to episode 23 of the Shobocast. I'm Paul.
I'm Dan.
I'm Cameron.
Are you reading that off a script, Paul? That's my name, by the way. Yeah, welcome to the Shobocast, a podcast allegedly about Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
How have our weeks? And that's the end of that question.
How have our weeks?
How have your
probably
weeks?
3.
Oh, 3. I got about 7. You know.
I honestly couldn't tell you how many weeks I've had. It's all just merging.
In the last week, how many weeks have you had?
Oh, a million.
Fuck only knows.
A million.
A million weeks.
A million weeks.
Imagine all the stuff you could do in a million weeks.
Somewhere between 1 and 72 billion.
How many weeks is a million weeks? Let's find out.
How many
All the
weeks have I
stuff-
had? Let's
All
see.
the stuff I'd do in a million weeks, I'd probably just do the night before on the final week.
I've had about 990 weeks in my life.
It's about 19,000 years.
Oh, I've had a billion weeks, so that's weird.
A billion weeks. How many weeks is a billion weeks? That is
A tangent.
19 million years.
That's because my nan, she's had 7,000 trillion weeks.
I thought you were going to say your nan is weak.
No.
Take that, Nan.
She's gone very strong,
dickhead.
thankfully.
You're not had a COVID vaccine
She's
yet, then?
stronger
Or
than
is she not
all
in the
of
right
us.
age group?
Has my Nan had a COVID vaccine?
Any nan.
My
No.
nan's from Cornwall, so
My grandma and granddad have had COVID vaccines.
Yeah,
But
mine have.
my Nan hasn't.
All
Mainly
my
because
grandparents have now, but
she doesn't really need one really
Dead?
anymore. A little bit, yeah.
Right.
oh right.
It wouldn't do much good. Is what they're saying. Buddy bureaucrat
Yeah.
not even vaccinating someone just because they're dead.
now apparently my nan had hers today, and her appointment was meant to be at like 11:30, and by 10:20 she'd text my mum going, "Oh, we've had our injections. Now we're on our way home."
NHS, more like not helping, sis.
Come on, guys, let's all
Amazing.
clap for the NHS.
What the fuck is that gonna do?
Doing my bit.
My mum's been vaccinated.
How old's your mum?
For 40 something.
Is your mum a care worker?
She's vaccinating people, which is why she's been vaccinated.
Yeah, you should probably vaccinate the
Your
people
loophole.
vaccinating people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
My brother worked for a care home in Manchester, got his vaccine at the start of January, and his probation period was up at the end, and he's no longer got that job, unfortunately. But you'd think, we've gone through the process of getting you vaccinated, we'll keep you around for a bit.
Have we had a good week?
Yeah?
I watched It's a Sin, Paul.
Oh, all of
Very
it.
good, isn't it? Yeah.
It is very good, isn't it?
I've been watching bits of it because my parents have been watching it. Seems good.
Did you watch it with them?
Mm,
There's quite a lot of
no,
raunchy
for those
scenes in
reasons.
there. Yeah.
Who's your favourite character, Dan?
Colin, obviously.
Oh. What did you think of the reveal that the main character was a Tory, a surprise Tory?
I wasn't surprised by it. Such. I say what I would do like about Rusty Davis is he's very interesting with the way he chooses to how he will like the political ideals he'll give to like different characters.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, he
it's
writes
not.
them like actual humans,
Yeah.
with political ideas and motives, instead of just like, this is Brian the dickhead.
Or just like, oh, these are the main characters, so they're all Labour. He's like, he doesn't do that, really. Like,
Yeah.
Did you watch Years and Years?
Not yet.
Well, one of my favourite scenes in that was the bit where it was just like a montage of everyone like voting in a general election. And it was just because of like who he chose to like. Oh, they're voting for this party and this. Like, I just thought it was a bunch of really interesting choices.
Yeah, like with
Like,
Richie.
oh, I wasn't. Yeah.
Sort of like he makes you care about him, and then it's like episode 4. He's like, boom, he's a Tory. You're like, whoa. You've made me like a Tory, Russell. Don't do
The reason I
don't do
haven't
that, Russell.
the reason I haven't checked out Years and Years or It's a Sin yet is because I know I know I'd be glad having watched it, but it'd probably make me feel very shit. Like, and just really down.
I was quite broken after the last episode.
Yeah.
This thing.
I don't
Same.
want that right
Yeah, but
now.
that's because someone came around to your house and just slapped you in the face.
That
Or
that's
it's part of the viewing experience. I've not watched it yet, so I don't know if that happens.
Well, it's after like I just finished the last episode, and then the doorbell went because it was from my friends dropping around baking, and I was like just not in a state to like receive baked goods from people.
Yeah, it's a rough. It's very good, but it's a rough watch, and like
Yeah, who'd have thought a drama about the AIDS crisis would be a difficult watch?
Oh, I went through our email address yesterday and just read all of the like really long email chains. So yeah, interesting conversation with Harry,
And the
was-
the Nigerian
Thank you.
prince who's going to send me gold.
that Nigerian prince. And then also the ice girls that Newsstand knows, who were getting confused as to why he was reading them at 4 in the morning.
yeah.
Oh, and Domino's.
Yeah,
And Domino's. We all know
Anyway.
where you live now, Dan.
Yep.
Oh, our podcast is live on Verbal.
Yeah, what's with these? Is this you, Paul? Have you added more platforms?
I've not touched it.
We keep getting told like your podcast is on SoundCunt or something like that, and we have to go on it and see what it is. Audio twat.
Buy that
available
domain! Buy that domain!
now. By the domain. Audio spunk.
Dan, you fucking wasting all our money on domains now. We're gonna have to buy all of
I
these
forgot you
domains.
bought the website.
Have we figured out how to make a website yet?
No.
With Squarespace.com, it's easy.
Are
Yeah, we're
are
not
they gonna
sponsored
spon-
by
Are
Squarespace.
they
But
gonna
if they'd
sponsor
like
Oh, not
to,
yet, but if we keep mentioning them, maybe they will sponsor us.
get it into the algorithm. Squarespace.
Oh,
Squarespace.
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 Square space and then space the word space.
Wix.com.
I can't use that one. I tried to use that in
GoDaddy.
school and it was just weird.
Go, Daddy. No, that's a different
The
one.
Marcus.com, not the Meerkat. The
The
mistake
H-
no one had ever made.
The HTML coder I have hidden in my wardrobe.
Binweevils.com.
Club
Oh,
Penguin.
if we're just saying things that we want to get sponsored by, Hove Audio.
Who?
They've made a speaker icon. Or Raycon.
Raycon.
Raycon, yeah.
That's not
It's
unrealistic.
really nice.
Apple, Samsung.
Big Finish. Come on.
Minifix.me.
Big
Big
Finish.
Finish. Come on, Big Finish. I do most of the
Movement
bulk of your
watches.
promoting.
Huh?
Movement watches. Harry's razors.
Harry's
Mac Weldon. He's gone off to get
Man,
us.
Got me custom
I
lens.
bought a Harry's razor. I can't even shave with a normal razor. I just use an electrical.
I don't shave.
Evidently.
Same, evidently.
Chewbacca over here.
Harry's razors.
Wonderful.
Where-
This
where
is
the
an
electrical
audio
comes from.
format, you know, Dan.
One for the Max and Paddy fans. Charlie FM, where the listener comes first.
Oh!
Classic.
Yeah.
No?
The echo's gone. It's fine.
So, fuck
News.
you.
News time.
News time.
The new jingle.
Oh, there's a new jingle.
No, just that. News time.
Hi.
Like a really out
Just
of tune
really
keyboard.
out of tune.
Can you elongate the note as well so he like holds it for a minute?
Like a reverse piano. News time.
Oh, shit news this week. Fuck all.
I completely forgot to transition like that. There we go.
Transition. Yeah, I nearly fell asleep on this news, as I mentioned before we were recording. That's just because I was watching Greatest Show in the
Excuse me.
We'll
How
get
dare
onto
you.
that in a minute.
Right, check, Dan, put it on screen.
Audio
Check
novels. News story 1.
What have you sent me?
What have you sent him? You
Um,
chose
No.
I'm not putting that on screen.
Oh my! Oh my! Oh no! Oh no!
Brilliant. Sorry, go
Yeah,
on.
just
Martha
because
Jones
you can't.
almost got a slice of that.
Yeah, there's only like a few nuggets of news this week.
Just a couple, and they're not even great nuggets. They're mostly
They're
like
bite size.
they're bite size, but they're mostly like the batter. There's not a lot of like chicken in there. So it's like a thick layer of batter
The
and like a
scraps
tiny
at
bit
the bottom
of
of the barrel.
Yeah, but not like good scraps you'll get at a chippy. Like just there's a bit of piss in there.
No.
Someone vomited and it was like all fried up.
Enough about our recent trip to McDonald's.
I'm getting a McDonald's tomorrow for like the millionth time this month.
Congratulations!
Yeah.
How do you know you're getting it tomorrow? Is it penciled?
It's been arranged.
News story 1.
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield is in the news. He's got a news story.
He's got a massive peanut, and I'm joking.
It's probably fine.
What is the
Are we
first?
mentioning?
The first bit of news. 6 new audio novels have been announced from Big Finish.
Yes.
These are essentially just
Audiobooks.
just audiobooks of like Target novelizations, except they're original stories.
Yep.
It's just a narrated Big Finish story, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Well, like a short trip.
It's a long trip, you could say.
It's a long trip because they're all about 6 hours long.
Yeah. I checked the time and it said 4:20, and I thought, oh, blazer.
The first one is it's a John Pertwee, Sarah Jane story called Scourge of the Cybermen.
I've got a question about
July
that.
2021. Go on.
What's the villain?
Scourge from Thor Ragnarok.
Right. I'm surprised he got.
It's
Carl
set in
Urban,
a place on Midgard called Texas.
If they got Richard Armitage to just wrestle on, then why can't they get Carl
It's
Urban?
all being narrated by John Culshaw.
Oh, of course it is.
So isn't that nice?
Will he
Whatever
do
happened to
voice?
Whatever happened to Tim Treloar? Didn't he used to do Third Doctor voices for them? Is he
Well,
dead?
it's probably not doing a third Doctor voice, is it? It's
He'll just be reading it.
narrated.
Yeah,
no, but
he's-
Culture has started doing a lot more Third Doctor voices.
He does an excellent Pertwee.
I've
wonder
not
if,
heard his Pertwee.
Just
he
watch
voices
watch the Great. Is it just called The Great Curator on YouTube with Jake Dudman and him? He does
Oh,
a
yeah,
really
that's-
good 3 in that.
That's horrible.
It's a great video.
Is it the one where they like photoshopped over the faces? Or it's
No,
so
no,
weird.
they shot it. They just shot it.
No, it's
It wasn't deep
Oh,
fake or anything.
It just looks really like uncanny.
What, Uncanny
But,
Valley?
Yeah, when he voices the Third Doctor in Masterful as well.
Yeah.
Usually when he does short trips, he'll do the voice of the character.
Hmm.
So like when
yeah.
he's reading this, he'll probably read the Third Doctor lines in the Third Doctor's voice.
He also does-
He'll probably do Sarah Jane's dialogue as the Third Doctor doing a Sarah Jane impression as well. And then,
and
the
then
same
she
with
was
the
like,
Cybermen.
"Yeah, John, come over here."
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oi, John, come over here and no. That classic Sarah Jane line.
I'm just gonna watch a bit of this great cure.
Yeah, just skip to the bit where he does 3.
Yeah,
and
then
just,
Nicholas Briggs is voicing the Cybermen in it, so that's how you know they are
Ah.
definitely doing impressions.
ah,
So like in the Scratchman audiobook, Tom Baker voices it all, and then Nicholas Briggs does the Cybermen in that too.
The Cybermen are in that?
You've read Scratchman.
I listened to Scratchman.
That
I
is pretty
don't
good.
remember.
So remember when the Fourth Doctor wakes up in hell and he gets in the taxi and then the Cyberman ambushes the taxi,
Ah, yes!
and when
Yes,
it
sorry.
turns out the Scarecrow's a Cyberman, like gonna evolve into Cyberman.
what the hell is Scratchman?
What the-
We should do
what-
an episode on
Wait,
it.
What have I
Amazing.
just come back into?
So
Scratchman.
in Scratchman, Dan, the
The fuck is
Scarecrow's.
Scratchman?
How do you not know what
Scarecrow-
Scratchman is?
It's a Doctor Who Fourth Doctor story written by Tom Baker,
Huh.
and it's amazing. It's like the pinnacle of Fourth Doctor stories, I'd say.
We'll cover
That's
it if I
amazing.
can find somewhere to get it.
Listen
Audible.
to the audiobook. Just get I don't know, buy a month or something, and then use the credits.
It's got a 5 out of 5 on Waterstones.
Well, in it, there's
I typed Scratch Mam by mistake.
scarecrows trying to kill them, and then it's revealed that it's like the Cybermen, and the scarecrows are slowly getting more and more like metallic looking. So they start off as wood, and then they're like evolving into metal. and then it's a really, really cool concept. And then that's part 1 of the book, and then part 2 set in like a hellscape dimension, which is dead cool.
Just whilst we're on Tom Baker stories, I don't know if this will come up, but I got that on Audible this week.
Lad, I bought that ages ago, and then I seen it 17 hours long.
The Nest Chronicles.
Do you know what that is, Dan?
Is that the one where the 4th Doctor he lives in a village or something?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
That was recommended for Audible because it's mostly just Doctor Who on there.
That's what brought Tom Baker back to working for Doctor Who. He was like, only if I can live in a village and just retire and never die. And they were like, yes.
News story number 2. News story.
Come on.
Season 24 of the television show Doctor Who is being
It's a long way away, Dan.
No, these are series, you fucking idiot.
Ah,
I'm talking
sorry.
about the classic series. Did you not know this stuff?
Actually, Dan,
Are you
that's the
even-
original run. So,
Sorry, listeners, about that.
And
No, I was
now
gonna say-
apologise to us who have to listen to it too.
Yeah.
Oh, I refuse.
apologise to
Can
yourself.
I get an apology? I
My
don't give about
microphone is a bit
the other
wet.
two.
Apologise to the microphone, which you just deep-throated.
You can apologise to us, Dan, but you won't be forgiven.
Okay, well, I'm not
You
going to
can
apologise.
Well,
Yes, season 26, 24 or whatever he said it was.
26, idiot.
I
No,
thought it
24.
25.
This is.
Oh, do you know what this is a lot like, Dan? In front of us three. Us three sat on a podium, watching down as Dan desperately tries to entertain us. It's a bit like the 7th Doctor and the 3 gods of Ragnarok in the greatest show in the galaxy. Which
We'll
we'll
get onto that in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Sylvester McCoy's first series.
Hmm?
Or season, I should say. Got that wrong.
Features Mel as well.
Yes,
I was about to call her Mel Brooks, but that's a different person.
I believe so. So this is Time in the Rani, Paradise Towers,
Towers.
Delta and the Banner, which is a fucking awful name for an episode, and Dragonfire.
Dragonfire is cool. Cool episode title. I've not watched it.
It's the first appearance of Ace in Dragonfire.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Mel leaves
she
at the end
she
of
had
that
sex with
series, and
Sabalom
Ace comes in.
Glitz on Ice World, by the way.
Does it explain why she keeps calling him Professor?
I hate
Yeah,
that.
they sort of do that earlier on. It's just like, I'm the Doctor. Yeah, but I'm calling you Professor to fuck you.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Pretty much it.
There's not much else to say about this, is there?
It had
There
the
was.
standard, like, DVD thing that... They are some really good trailers that they're doing for the classic re-release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone pointed out the trailer was written by Pete McTeague, who wrote Kablam, and Praxius, is it? And
Oh, nice.
so do you know how people are like, oh, Kablam, it's about how the oppressed workers are the villains and not the terrorists.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
they kind of just like.
in this, the people were going, oh, Pete McTeague wrote this, and he wrote The Companion, the fought against capitalism to be a billionaire CEO.
Maybe it's just like
For classic Pete McTeague.
he just loves billionaires, doesn't he?
He just
Yeah.
loves
He just
them.
loves multi-billion corporation.
He wants Jeff Bezos to be his sugar daddy, I reckon. as do we all.
This kind of Harry's Shave Joe has lottery numbers on the back of it.
Fair enough. But yeah,
That's not a joke.
well, enter him in the lottery, see if you win.
Okay.
Yeah,
This planet doesn't have a lottery.
they are really good trailers, and Sylvester McCoy looks really good in his outfit still.
Yeah.
Oh, he looks amazing. He's so, like... He's just back in the role immediately. I love him.
Some doctors don't look as good in their outfits because obviously they've got older, they've put on a bit of weight. But he still looks very good in his outfit.
If
He
they
does.
if they literally just like sorted his eyebrows out a bit and dyed his hair, then he'd look exactly the same almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they wouldn't even have to do that. They could just use the time crash explanation.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a question for you, and Dan, you can
Oh,
have
yeah,
it if you want. Does Peter Davison still not like the Doctor being a woman?
I've got absolutely no idea.
I thought he didn't really give a shit.
His stance on it was he thought he was worried that a lot of boys would lose role model.
Which
The way
is
he
nonsense.
worded it was a bit shitty and weird because, as Colin said, there's a clip where he says that, and then Colin, like a few minutes later, says, "Sorry, Peter, you're talking rubbish." And he says, "Why can't a woman be a role model for boys as well?" It's like, yeah.
But yeah, so I said the other day on Twitter that none of the past Doctors have a problem with the Doctor being a woman. And someone said, I'm pretty sure Peter Davidson has said a few times he does. And I was like, surely he doesn't know, though.
George
That
has
was
probably told him.
When it was first
I imagine.
announced, I think he was like a bit skeptical,
but
like a lot of people were. But
Yeah.
I think he has warmed to it, like a lot of people have.
Yeah, because it was 4 years ago.
Is he
Also,
still
we
on?
don't know him, and I've never spoke to him. So
I know he went off Twitter afterwards and like
He still
he
isn't
just
back.
logged out and protected his tweets. But is he still off or is he on again?
No, he's still off.
Jeez.
I've got a question. Why is Colin Baker's handle on Twitter at Sawbones Hex?
Because Sawbones is an older term for doctor, and hex means 6.
Wow.
Yeah, blow
That's
your mind.
fucking...
Should we move on proper to the greatest show in the galaxy?
Well, before we do that, I'd just like to get your thoughts on something.
Oh no.
Do any of you like when a game show's like, here's a celebrity version of this game show?
Yes.
But then,
I don't watch
depends
a
on
lot
the
of
game show.
shows.
but then you turn it on, and then you don't know any of the celebrities.
No, I don't watch a lot of like live TV anyway. I'm quite
Well,
out of the loop.
Anyway, the Great British Bake Off announced its celebrity lineup this year, and there's quite a few like famous comedians that you'd expect to see on like panel shows and stuff, like Catherine Ryan and that. And
David
then,
Baddiel.
and then Daisy Ridley and James McAvoy, and I was like, fucking hell.
On the
Well,
same
well,
billing as KSI,
What?
that
KSI.
YouTube boxer.
Apparently
Is
he's a dickhead as well.
Well, of course.
I'm
my
not
cousin-
surprised
Yeah.
in the slightest.
He's always like calling people out and be like, haha, I'd win you in a fight, professional boxer, fucking
It's so
Andy
unfunny.
Joshua. And you're like, shut up. One day, if any of the four of us ever go,
Become
Hey.
professional boxers.
hey Anthony Joshua, I will batter you. Just come round and kill us. Like,
Okay.
what is the... No, Anthony Joshua, come round and kill us and teach us a lesson.
That would be the best episode
We have no
of our
place.
podcast ever.
If one of us offers a fight to Anthony Joshua, all 4 of us have to be killed.
Yeah.
Well, we see like Paul's door open from the side. He comes in and takes Paul out, and then he looks at the screen. He kind of scours the screen, goes, that one, and then he goes off screen. Immediately, he's at Cameron's door, and then he's out at Dan's window, and then you just see a hand come and grab my mic and throw it down.
But at this point, Dan's already ran off. But then we see him
I'm at
get
the window.
thrown through that window.
Through the window.
Well, no, he runs off and then
Through the
we
window.
just see a body get slammed against his wall as he runs up screen.
No, you. Like, Free Cheese
Me.
Dan has already ran off when Dan's microphone gets grabbed. And then through the window behind him, we just see Dan's body come smashing back into the room. Through the window. Anthony Joshua steps in and just stands on his head.
This is reminding me of the comedy song Shia LaBeouf.
I'm getting
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Actual murderer Anthony Joshua. Doctor Who, season 25, greatest show in the galaxy.
What did we think of this?
It truly was the greatest show in the galaxy.
I like
I was
it.
a bit bored.
What?
Shut
Yeah.
up, you're wrong.
So
It's a
I
good
know-
story, but I was just bored.
This is the best one we've watched from Classic Who.
You think?
You
I
not
wouldn't go that far.
from Classic Who.
Let's have a look then, Paul. Let's have a look. At,
So
Okay, the
I-
Three Doctors is close.
yeah,
Oh,
because
I'll-
we did the 3 Doctors, the 5 Doctors, both pretty good. Vengeance on Varos. We know what's the other one. Oh, Curse of Peladon. Warrior's Gate was pretty bad.
Curse of Peladon was better than this.
You think?
No.
I think I enjoy this the most out of
I
all
felt
of them.
there was more going on
No,
in
actually, I like the
Peladon.
Five Doctors.
This felt so much like Modern Who. I absolutely loved it.
The tone is so close at this point.
Yeah.
If you watch anything from season 24 and then go into 25 and onwards, it's like, yeah, this is so close.
It reminded me of the Day of the Clown episode of Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I felt a bit bored, but I guess I've seen it before and I sort of like knew what was going to happen. And
Oh,
so
you also said you didn't like it?
No, I said I did like it. I said I was bored.
Yeah, so
I said
Dan,
it's a good episode, but I was bored watching it.
I thought because we had two choices, didn't we, to watch? And you wanted the other one.
Can we... What was it, if I may, which aspect of it was boring? Was it the usual classic Who thing of halfway through you could get rid of an entire part, or...
Yeah.
So
I
didn't
found
really
the
like
editing.
Free, I just felt nothing for.
I found the editing really, really weird.
That's
But,
just this era, it just does that. It just is weird and just a bit janky.
And possibly also this episode in particular, because to get into some of the trivia bits, the BBC studio where they normally filmed the internal bit was closed due to a asbestos thing being removed.
Is that why the corridors are all covered in sheets?
It was filmed in a tent in the car park.
Ah, well.
That makes sense.
It still looks good, though. Like,
Yeah,
Yes.
it worked for this
I
episode with the
absolutely-
aesthetic, because it's a
All
thing,
of the
but
set
it was
design looks good, yeah.
I
all
love
of the
planets
interiors
in
were
the background. Like,
tent in a BBC Elf Street studio car park.
well,
And
still good.
it was also originally meant to be a 3-part story, but
Fuck, that
The-
makes sense.
someone
What?
said, "Can we make it 4?"
This is
Parts.
this is the only episode where I felt like you couldn't cut a part.
No, it's just like
Oh,
the
one thing that
the cliffhanger at the end of part 1. It was like it just kind of ended.
Yeah.
It was just like, are we gonna go in, and then just end credits.
do you know?
Um,
Do you know in part 1, which proper confused me? It's the only gripe I have. Do you know when the guy's running away, but you don't know what he's running away from, and it's obviously to be revealed, and then you see his girlfriend's murdered, and then he gets to like the woman with the cart, and then he says, "Finally," as they catch him, and I was like, "What was your goal?" It's to be
no.
caught.
So his goal was to run away and get caught whilst his girlfriend got to safety, and he obviously didn't know his girlfriend was dead.
Yeah, but when he says "finally," I thought you were trying to escape while she was taking the fall or something.
No, other way
no,
round.
he was drawing their attention.
So when they got him, it's like, finally, I now know she's safe, but she gets killed by the conductor on the bus
Oh,
because
Also-
they don't realise he's evil yet or something.
also, do you know that cabbage woman is what I'm gonna call her? She looks like a cabbage woman.
She's feels a lot like the cabbage guy from Avatar.
I don't remember that man, but I love her.
How can you not remember the cabbage guy? Have you seen Avatar?
Yeah,
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I vaguely remember it, but I don't remember. I know it's the episode where he meets his mate who's like 100 or something.
No, cabbage guy turns up in like 5 episodes.
What?
Just like every now and then they'll destroy some cabbages, and a guy will come out and go, "Oh, me cabbages!" You know, that classic
Can we
character.
talk
Oh, right. So he just moves about.
Before we run the episode? The opening.
The opening. Well, first of
The
all,
ringmaster.
this
Oh,
is
what a tune!
no. This is without a doubt the worst theme tune in Doctor Who.
Oh, yes, I do
Sorry.
not like this theme tune.
I
Oh,
thought
okay.
you meant the one the guys like raps.
I was
like,
going to say the rapping thing.
Oh,
Is,
I'll get onto that in a second.
the thing is with that though is it's the 90s, almost the
Oh,
90s.
well,
So it's obviously everything from that period becomes like a
worst
caricature of
version.
itself. So
Yeah.
at this point, it's really
it's the
trying.
worst music. It's it's just so the visuals are so weird and ugly, and it is the
also-
worst logo, isn't it?
It's
Like
the
the
worst
big
logo.
with Blake Who block letters
And
and
then
Not
the
like the
little-
rock.
a sign.
The thing about the intro is that it's like the first ever CG intro on TV.
Mm-hmm.
so like it's pretty.
And which is why it looks dog shit.
Yeah,
because CG's just not good enough at that point to use.
Yeah, but I do like what it's going for. Have you seen that? I'll send you it now to watch. Someone done like a recreated it like today.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always had a soft spot for this intro, and the theme tune itself.
Yeah,
I really like the. I forget what the name of the technique is, but the bass line where it's like constant notes. So like the way it's Kev McCulloch who did it. There's like a video where Sophie Aldred goes to see how he made that theme, and the guy was rushed to make it, but I think I quite like that version of the theme tune. I can see why people hate it though.
I am going pretty hard on it, I'll be honest.
But then again, I really like the Trial of a Time Lord theme, and everyone hates that, so I might just be completely wrong.
Fuck! It cost £20,000 to make that theme tune.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Although I'm watching the re-rendered, it does look a lot nicer in like modern standards, but I think they could have done something different back then.
Oh, so a guy comes out and does a little anti-drug rap, doesn't he? At the start of the episode. It's what it feels like.
It feels like something.
Oh, so you have that school assembly, and it's like, don't do drugs, and there's just that adult trying to be cool.
Drugs are lame. They fry your brain, kids. Stay in school. Peace out.
Dressed at the moment.
It's got the fucking cadence and like rhythm of a 40-year-old man trying to stop kids from trying to convince like year 8 year 8s that Shakespeare is actually the greatest of all time.
I thought he was quite charming, to be honest. Like in apart from that, I quite like the rap as well. To be fair.
You quite like the rap?
Yeah. I'm just a sucker for the law. But
I think that section is also shot really weird as well with the camera angles, because it's from like the side and then just like close up, and like for a circus bit, I would expect like a front-on hard cam,
or
as opposed to
see his face.
Yeah,
well, they only have them in porn, so.
I've just watched that recreation of the title sequence. It's really good.
Yeah,
you'll get it when you're older, Cam.
No, I'm thinking, why are you thinking? It's just that I watched loads of things that aren't porn with a hard cam. Wrestling!
Hard cam.
This is...
Front
We've gone right down into the gutter now.
But anyway...
I'm talking about actual filming technique, and Paul's mind is just in the gutter.
What I will say about this episode is I am not scared of clowns in the slightest, because it's a stupid fear. But...
That's quite the hard fucking stance.
That main guy was fucking terrifying. Like,
he's amazing in this.
What was his deal?
I don't know. He was just weird.
Well, the thing is, you start thinking he's the big bad throughout the first kind of two parts,
but then you see how he acts with the ringleader, and you're like,
yeah, exactly. Later on, you realise he's actually just as like confused and desperate. Desperate is the word, I think. Yeah, it is really interesting, the fact that this circus, and I know it's like an analogy for the actual show, which I'm sure we'll get to, but just the fact that it's like everyone in the universe knows about it, and WizKid saying like it's not as good as it used to be, apparently, and then.
Oh yes,
you're
right.
You mean who was written as a deliberate analogy as the very annoying fans?
Exactly. Yeah. He was supposed to be like the 12-year-olds at the time that was saying.
I loved them. Oh,
because
what a guy!
The weird thing is, it's like it's a bit shitty of the. Well, it's not shitty. It's just there's a bit of an attitude behind it when you think it's like taking the 12-year-olds at the time who were saying this isn't as good as John Pertwee's run when they wouldn't have actually remembered John Pertwee's run.
Yeah,
like that's what they're like pissed off about, I think. So putting that guy in it and being like, yeah, this is what you're like, fans. This is what you're like. We're trying here. But yeah, I love that.
Looking back in hindsight, though, if they were to do that character nowadays, it would probably be like Us 4. It would be based on.
Yeah.
Well, they did. They did bring a similar character back, and it was Victor Kennedy.
It's not as good as the Russell T Davies series. He does everything right.
That was like the point of him, was like he's so obsessed with tracking down all of the bits of lore and getting everything in order, and it's like, what are you trying to achieve? You just sad.
He wants to absorb the Doctor.
I know we don't like talking about him, but the gentleman on Twitter who looks for all of the old classic Who stories, he seems to be obsessed that character is partially based on him.
What, WizKid?
That's not to brag about.
No, Victor Kennedy.
Oh.
That's not a bragging right, bro.
No, that's...
No.
Millip Forest.
Victor Kennedy who lures women to be by themselves and then makes them feel uncomfortable, and then...
Oh, not just women, he does it to men as well.
Well, yeah.
So he's big on equality in that way when he kills people.
Do you know what I found out this week, which I thought was interesting and weird? Do you know the transphobic master?
Yeah.
James Dreyfus.
Yeah, he's gay.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
okay.
Why would you be transphobic if you know what it's like to be oppressed in that exact way?
I mean, that's not new. That's basically what
I will
TERFs
send you
are.
here to the LGB Alliance.
Yeah.
Which is a hate group, for lack of a better term.
That's where most of the modern transphobia comes from. I don't know how we got into this.
I really don't want to bring this up.
No, but it's
James Dreyfus is a shit. Let's not.
4 white straight men talking about transphobia abuse. Yeah, but back to Greatest Show. It is strange, that opening, and also then it cuts immediately to the guy on the motorbike and how anyone can take him seriously with that helmet. Big floppy ears on it.
Did anyone get his name? What was his name?
Can I take a guess? Can I take a guess?
No, something.
Razor.
Yeah, he had a razor name, didn't he? Let's see.
Yeah, he looks like a razor.
It began with an N, I think.
It's just the
Nathaniel Razor.
While we are past the subject of theme tunes, I want it on the record. My favourite classic theme tune is 1000% John Pertwee's first one. Just when they first get colour, and it's just every colour all the time, everything.
Yeah. And his face.
His face.
And his face only looks like that for the first series because then he grows his hair out. But his face.
I'm gonna say.
It looks the best.
I'm gonna be generic and say Tom Baker's intro is the best. Not the one where he looks drunk. The one.
I'm gonna say it. I really do love that season 23 one because I just like the color effect around the borders. It looks so nice, and the instrumental itself is really nice.
I like the music. The music's amazing, and in that remastered one, you can just see how good it's meant to look.
Yeah,
so, but
it's the subject of the time though. It can only look that good because that's all they could do, and it unfortunately looks shit by today's standards.
What do you think of the wink?
A bit weird, isn't it?
His name's Nord.
I said that.
His name's what?
Nord.
I knew it began with an N.
This video is sponsored by NordVPN.
Yeah.
But we will accept it. Or Surfshark, I use them, so you know.
Yeah.
Or any VPN, but we're not going to say you protect privacy because, HTTPS does that.
Yeah.
But you can use it for foreign Netflix.
When he's first being chased by the clown in just a regular taxi, it looks like a black cab, isn't it?
I thought it looked a bit like a hearse.
Looks like a minivan.
Yeah. It's just like a regular car, but when he rolls, they had a space sound effect to it.
Yeah, it's just like.
So you know that it's a space car.
I think he was just not refusing to change gear. I think that's all he was doing. He didn't know how to drive and just left it.
My favourite part of that sound, pardon me, my favourite part of that sound effect is that he literally would have been like trying to crank the window down with the little shitty wind up knob that they use.
But it's just going.
Yeah,
it is funny for an alien planet. They have a lot of Earth-based vehicles, like a standard bicycle, a trike, and a car. Also,
it's just a car.
The burger hatch.
Yeah, but there's also a random plump old lady selling cabbages and pumpkins just in the middle of nowhere.
who doesn't like people who buy from her.
Yeah, who doesn't like people? So
I like how the Doctor makes both of them like eat a mass amount of this stuff
Oh,
just so he can get some
horrible.
information. He's like, "Oh, it's delicious," and they're like gagging.
Yeah. Yeah, I love how he has spoons on him, but they're both eating with the hands.
Because
Yeah.
they're his musical spoons.
Yeah, well.
He doesn't seem to be eating with his hands. He seems to just like pick it up and then just
Do you know
chug
what
it down.
do you know what he should have used instead? His pitching forks.
I thought you were going to say the umbrella. Just like
No,
handle of the umbrella.
it was a bad joke. But yeah, I really like that woman. She reminds me of, do you know, the woman from Come Outside?
Linda
I-
Barron
I think I know
Yeah,
what you
from,
mean.
from
Yeah.
Closing Time.
Yeah, and the sort of, like, the bright, colourful, patterned, like, stuff she wears just reminds me of, like, when I'd watch, like, kids' programmes when I was a kid back in
Pippin?
the early
It's time to
2000s,
fly.
and everything looked like that. So...
There's a big
I-
Finnish spin-off where she goes off in a little spotty plane with her dog and shows us how crisps are made. Let's be real though, the Wellington boots and the brick episode are the best.
But to be fair, there is actually a big Finnish spin-off about this episode.
Yes, there is
Yeah.
with transphobe man.
It's
It's-
both a prequel and a sequel.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy it, surprisingly. But yeah, so what did you
So
think?
why, Dan and Paul? Why do you love it so much? That sounded more aggressive than I meant.
It just reminds me of modern Doctor Who, like in a
I-
way that
Yeah,
classic Who never does.
I think
don't
it
know, this
bridges
one
the
felt-
gap a bit.
I'm gonna be honest. This one felt as classic as it gets. Really.
No,
I'll be honest, I just like this to spite you, Dan. I'll let Paul go. Clear
So-
your notes up.
when I was a kid, I don't have any notes. When I was a kid,
Flying by the seat of his pants.
yeah, I remember going into like a shop, like just like a corner shop, and they had like a Doctor Who magazine with DVDs in it. So I bought the Pyramids of Mars because my dad told me it was good. And there was a 7th Doctor one which was Remembrance of the Daleks, and he said, "Oh, he's my least favourite Doctor." Like he said, he was the worst one. So up until this point, I'd always just been like, "Oh, I guess he is," because before I started the Facebook group, I never really had much interaction with any Doctor Who fans at all, other than my dad and my mate in school.
We're not really a fan base that likes to interact in general.
Yeah, so when I did start to interact, and I'd see people go, "Oh, the 7th Doctor's my favourite Doctor," I'd always just think, dickhead. But that just because my dad told me it was the worst one, and then my dad's a fucking idiot for a start, so I don't know why I listened to him. But when I watched this, I was like, well, he actually might be one of the best. And my dad is once again proven to be an absolute fucking idiot.
I don't know.
But I just thought it was fun. Like, I think what really makes her feel modern is Ace, because she says stuff like, "I'm gonna bash its head in," which you just wouldn't get in like the 60s and like 70s
Oh,
ones.
bloody
Really.
cobloney!
She's
That's not
definitely
what she sounds like.
she's definitely like the groundwork for the modern companions as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. And she's just good, like very good. And
Oh
I
yeah,
like-
I would also like the difference between her and Susan, because I've been
Yeah.
achingly slowly going through. I'm
You
still on the
hate
first
Susan,
season.
don't you?
yeah.
She got really interesting in the first episode,
You-
and then
you said-
all she does is she just screams. She just
Yeah.
screams all the time and goes,
With the
"Grandfather!"
as well. It's just
You
like
said-
Ace is such a far cry from Susan's just constant screaming and whining and
Hey, don't worry, Dan. Don't worry, Dan.
Yeah.
When you're watching your marathon, you reach the brilliant 5 Doctors. You get to see her twist her ankle. So at least that's something.
just falling. I just take a step and falling. Just
She literally just takes a step and then says she's twisted her ankle. I can't
I
believe it.
reckon Dan could even say he's the 2020 show I Hate Susie.
In fact, we'll be seeing Susan again before that when we cover Dimensions in Time. So
Yeah.
When are we doing that? When are we doing that?
episode 30,
When-
that'll be
when-
something like that.
Oh, that's not far away.
No, no,
Oh, no.
it's only like 10
But,
minutes long. Don't worry.
No weapons, isn't it? But yeah, another thing I quite like about do you know what the vibes that I'm getting from this era, from this one episode alone, it's just very fun, and I quite like the writing style, and the pacing's really good. So I'd say Andrew Cartmell's doing a good job. I'm not
See,
sure.
I have a note saying specifically the pacing feels off.
Well,
So,
let me assure you, Dan, it doesn't.
I don't know.
But,
It was. There
I
were so many. Okay, go on.
I also like, remember, I think Cameron said like an episode or two ago about John Nathan Turner wanted the Doctor to have like a logo and that, so he gave him the question marks.
Yeah.
I quite like that. Remember I was saying about that woman's costume earlier, where it just feels like straight out of like an old kid show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like that Ace has like Ace written on the back of the jacket, like it with like a really like big A in that, and then the Doctor's costume's like fucking dead funny.
They've all got. They're all branded. They've all got their.
I like that they all look branded, and like it just looks straight out of like, I don't know, like the sort of cartoons and programs I'd watch growing up, which is cool.
It is Saturday morning Doctor Who this era.
Yeah, I really like
mornings when this came out.
No,
But
I just mean like it's a Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's got that.
Well,
feel.
I know during Classic Who it changed wildly from where it was in like since the revival we've had it constantly on Saturday or Sunday now.
Yeah.
But I do know it went from like Wednesdays, Thursdays, Tuesdays. I think it may have had Saturdays for one season, but it was like very different with how it was.
Oh yeah, that was something I was surprised to learn. The classic, sorry, had the hiccups. The classic Doctor Who didn't really air on Saturdays.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Can I just ask, who has a dog barking in the background?
Not me.
It's not my dog.
Okay.
Can you kill it? Can you kick it to get rid of the dog? Can you get rid of the dog, please?
Well, in a minute, if you listen closely, you'll hear its owner go Millie, which he often does.
Did anyone else like start uncontrollably laughing when the evil clown bloke got back to the circus and just took off his quite sinister-looking black cloak and just had that spangly, shiny leotard on?
No, because as I said, he was fucking terrifying.
It was so fucking extra.
He was
It's just when he, like,
And just
Like-
when anything would happen, he would do this. This is great for an audio medium. He would go.
Yeah.
he was very handsy, but just the way when he got back to the thing and he flamboyantly took off the jacket and then just the silver leotard underneath, I just started giggling
I think
massively at that because like
my
I can't take you as seriously now, knowing you had that on underneath.
my favorite line, which I wrote down, is it was from the mother, one of the people who turned out to be a big rock.
a Ragnarok.
Oh, you could say. She turns to father. She goes, "Have a crisp, father. Have a." I don't know why that line. I identified with it so much. Have a crisp, father.
So Dan, what was you going to say about the pacing before I interrupted?
Oh, what was I gonna say about the pacing? So there were a lot of moments in this. It was like the editing between when they were cut between two different things happening. Like you'd get like a really fast oh no, we're running away from a person. Oh no, and then it's just the Doctor just kind of sitting around having tea with an explorer with a misogynist. I don't know. It felt like that whole chase sequence between what was he called, Bellboy and
Old boy, Flower Girl.
Bellboy and Flower. Was she called Flower Girl? Huh. The silly names.
Oh, they get better.
They do. It felt like that should have been one section at the start of the episode.
That's the sort of thing like you'd have in Modern Who, where that's your pre-credit bits of them running, and it's like you go that way, I'll go this way, and then dun 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 dun.
Or like more like she gets taken away and he gets taken, and then cut to the credit. Like that felt like it should have been the cold open.
Yeah.
But yeah, it tends to be in Classic Who they make all the seemingly wrong choices in editing.
Yeah. I will say this: we're meant to think of him as a prick, and Captain Cook is a prick.
Oh,
You know what?
I hate him.
He was. Yeah, I wanted him to stop talking every single time he was talking.
Yeah.
Do you know what was weird? Do you know when he's like, "Oh no, thank you, I won't escape. I'll sit here," and then he fucking helps catch them.
Yeah, because
Why-
he's a
Because
dickhead.
he's a bootlicker.
Yeah, but I thought he was like, "Haha, I work with the bad guys," and then he just gets back in the cage. I was
Yeah,
like, "You were
he's-
what?"
Yeah, it's funny that.
And then
do
he sits
quite like
back
the
in the
bit-
cage, and he's like, "Oh, why don't you go?" I was
Captain
like,
Cook
"No,
might be the most complicated and complex character in Doctor Who.
What does he want? We may never know.
What is his goal?
I quite like the bit at the start where it's just like, this is nice tea, isn't it? It's a blend of my own making. I bet you can't guess. And it's just like, it's straight away. It's just like, I could be wrong. What is this?
Oh my god, I've just realised. Right, hang on. Hear me out here, boys. So the fact that he's got a companion with him and a bit of an extravagant costume,
Are you going to say it's the
and
master?
he's well renowned across the universe, okay? And he's got this very specific tea that also the Doctor has a knowledge of. And he's not quite sure what he's doing there. He's just having a bit of fun, really. He's not got a goal. And we don't actually see how he gets there. I'm calling it. He's a pre-Hartnell Doctor. Captain Cook is a pre-Hartnell Doctor.
Oh, Dan,
Get that on the fucking poster.
I'm going to submit this live on air.
That's my headcanon. He has to be. It makes sense.
He's
Put it on that infographic that thing you made.
He is a clear,
reflection
of the Doctor, isn't he?
He's the
this
Doctor
entire
if the
show
Doctor was a
This
bit...
entire story is a analogy for Doctor Who.
Yeah, there's a lot
Like-
of... Like, the fact that he's got... oh, bloody hell, what's she called? Megs?
Something like that.
Mags.
Yeah.
Mags. She's great in this as well, whoever plays her, I forgot her name.
I like her.
I'll
And
recognise
the fact
it
that
from
because she is this like, she's essentially like a werewolf type character, isn't she? And
Yes.
the
Well,
fact that
she turns green and
you think that she's the companion to him, a bit like the Doctor has Ace, but actually he's just kind of parading her around
Yeah.
and showing her off. It's like, oh, you're like P.T. Barnum, except they're not going to glorify you in a musical starring Hugh Jackman.
except you.
or a stage show called Barnum that is apparently quite good, but
Yeah,
shit.
P.T. Barnum was not a nice man.
No. But he is
Oh,
sort of like that thing of the traditional 20s explorer where you'd go off to a far off land and discover a person and just bring them back with you, and it's like, look at how uncivilized they are. They don't know what cricket is. Ha 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 ha! Fuck off, you little shit.
I love
Do you know
cricket,
what?
or I will in my next life cycle. Wink,
Do you know
wink.
what was I going to say?
Go on.
I don't
I
know.
believe in you.
Oh,
You can get that.
Why didn't they just make The Greatest Showman about a fictional character that also just liked circuses?
Because
I don't
P.T.
know.
Barnum is a well-known name.
It's stupid.
Yeah, but I feel like I'd never have heard of him if that movie weren't about
Well,
it.
in America, people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like, just make it about no one and have it be an original thing,
This
which
is
it
the
is anyway.
greatest show in the galaxy.
Yeah. Oh, it's everything you ever are. Or-
Also,
It's everything you ever need.
how do we feel about the 10 minutes of magic tricks?
Love it.
That
Love it.
McCoy does.
The fact that
brilliant.
they've got someone who used to be in a circus putting nails through his nose. I know it took them until now to give him some kind of like sleight of hand magic to do. The bit where he like pivots on his feet blows my mind.
When I watched that, I was like, "Is that real?" Because it looks really unnatural.
He just
His like shoes will be like stuck to the
His
floor.
shoes are heavily weighted.
yeah. Have a
Um,
look on YouTube. I don't know if there is stuff on
Do-
YouTube.
do you know what it reminded me
There's
of?
videos of his days in the circus, and he did some crazy shit back in the day.
He was a stuntman in the circus, and he did like nails up your head, set yourself on fire, get some baggy trousers on, tied around the ankles, stick a ferret down there with no underwear on. Ooh,
He's
that's an
ridiculous.
endurance sport
Do you know
for
what?
men.
Yeah.
Do you know what it did remind me of? Have you seen that episode of SpongeBob where he's like going around town?
I have not.
He does that exact like thing.
The only Doctor I can sort of imagine doing this sort of like magic trick, sleight of hand like things is the Seventh Doctor for some reason. Like, I can't imagine any other Doctor, like, just walking up to someone and just going, "This is your card."
I can
It's
imagine.
only McCoy.
I can imagine. Doing it.
I can imagine Smith doing it but failing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can imagine two doing
Christmas
it, but
Carol.
accidentally it's like a completely different object.
No, like,
I think
just the sleight of hand
McCoy
is your
is-
card, but the full up, like, flick out the sleeve, your card, done properly, all of that stuff. It is only McCoy I can imagine doing that stuff.
McCoy is the only one who is able to do magic tricks correctly. Every other Doctor wouldn't do them.
I reckon Capaldi could.
Nah.
I could see him doing
Actually, no, I could see Tom Baker having like a couple of.
I think the
tricks he
12th
could do.
Doctor would do "Is this your card?" but actually it's like a pistol and he just shoots you in the fucking head. I could see him doing that.
Since Series 8, the 4th Doctor.
But just like how, like at one point he's just tied upside down and it's just like, "Oh, that's an interesting proposition, gods of Ragnarok." And then I think it cuts the episode or cuts to a different scene, but it's just like how he's just very calmly just upside down, just holding onto his legs.
It was
This is
amazing.
mine.
It was amazing when he turned the rope into the snake, like.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Ah, there
But
was so
like
many.
I said,
Bring him
names of the
back for
circus.
the 60th, please.
Do you know what bit I did think was shit though? Do you know when he was just tying bad knots and then going, "Oh look, it's come undone"? And you're like, "Yeah, you just tied a shit knot."
Yeah, I never understood those.
Oh look, it looks like a knot, but I've tied it shitly.
Just
Oh.
to go
How does he do it?
how I said how the names got better for the circus performance. So we've already learnt we had Bag Boy and Flower Girl.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We also get Deadbeat, whose name is later revealed to actually be Kingpin. We then also had
When he was a boy.
Peace Pipe and Juniper Berry,
I like Juniper.
Where are
Berry.
these names coming from?
Juniper
along with
Berry
Morgana.
is
And I don't think we
full
get a
name.
name for the clown or ringmaster.
Oh, he's the ringmaster.
He's just ringmaster, isn't he?
Yeah, and I can't remember hearing a name for the clown.
What happened is he was born and named ringmaster, and then somehow he went on to become a ringmaster.
Not nominative determinism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, what the fuck are these names? It's just like Peace Pipe, Juniper Berry, Flower Girl, Kingpin.
What was it? Bellboy. I realised about halfway through the third part, he looks a lot like Ted Bundy.
Oh, you didn't say the right guy. I was going to
He
say... Oh, no,
He looks a lot like Ted Bundy, and it was quite distracting.
I thought Kingpin looked a lot like Martin from EastEnders.
I can't. Who's Martin from EastEnders?
Martin from EastEnders.
Martin Fowler.
Yeah. Yeah, actually. The third image in. I see it.
Yeah. He was played by someone else a while back, but he's played by this guy now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he does a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah. The whole time I was like, but it's not him, because this was a million years ago.
Just to get back,
Oh, the
because
past.
we sort of like gone off track going back and forth. Before the Seventh Doctor starts his magic show for the gods of Ragnarok, he makes a Bachman Turner Overdrive reference, which I find brilliant.
Oh, what?
Bachman Turner Overdrive, they're a band, but they sing "You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet."
Oh, is that
And it's
what
just-
that was about? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's just like, as it's been said before, and that song came out like in the 78, I think, and this is 88, so...
Oh, another thing, because obviously I'd not seen McCoy in anything else. So the first time I seen him was when they were in the TARDIS at the start. Immediately I just thought this is very fun. Like, he throws something in the air and then it doesn't come back down, and he's like... And then it cuts away, and it cuts back, and he's got a ladder out looking for it. And then...
Yeah.
And then it reminded me of Kablam when the thing just teleports into the TARDIS and is like, oh, here's an invitation for someone.
I like how the invitation taunts her because Ace is saying like she doesn't want to go, and he's like, "Oh, alright, you're a chicken then." And she's like,
Oh, do you know what
I'll
I-
go.
Do you know something I was thinking about for a lot of the first episode? So they land on the planet, yeah, which is
Yeah.
an alien planet, and it's nowhere near the circus, and she's like, oh, miles away, yeah, just keep walking. I thought, why doesn't he get in the TARDIS, and park closer. Because
the TARDIS is unreliable, Paul.
yeah, but
Have you not learned this in 63 years?
Actually, it's because the TARDIS is dying, which will be.
I was thinking, yeah. Say it was an invitation to the Louvre, and he fucking landed in Blackpool, and just went, well, let's just walk in that way and see. He'd be fucked. Like,
You could get a ferry.
yeah, but like, you just, because obviously it's an alien planet, so you don't know the geography of it. But it could have been that far apart. Like, you don't know. So, like, if he didn't know Earth as well as he did, and he landed, and he was like, let's go to the Louvre, oh, we're in Germany. You'd be like, oh.
The Louvre's in France.
I know, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, we've lost Cameron.
My
we've
God,
gained Cameron.
Sorry, just doing a bit of research on his
That was my point, Dan. Like, it's
on
in
my
France,
computer again.
but he could land in Germany and just go, oh, well, it's a few miles that way.
I'm doing
He'd be fucked. You need to know these things.
I'm doing some research on McCoy before Doctor Who. Like, so he was
a crisp.
He was born as Percy James Patrick Kent Smith.
No,
that was his
That's
actual
too
name.
many names.
Percy.
no,
Smith is double barrel surname.
Yeah.
that's too many posh names.
And he was a bodyguard for the Rolling Stones at one point.
Whoa! Can we back up a sec? Who chooses the name Sylvester?
He did.
It was part of his circus name.
He was called Sylvester. Yeah.
Sylvester McCoy, and because it was like in the credits as Sylvester McCoy as Strongman, someone thought that was his actual name, and he later took it on as a stage name and called it Sylvester.
I've seen a video of him doing the nail up the nose thing, and I can't find it for it. Oh, it's going to be on YouTube. There's a video by Clever Dick Films. He's done like a retrospective of each Doctor's era. It's in that when he talks about McCoy before the show, and he shows a clip, and it's like, oh,
yeah.
So yeah,
He does have a big
out.
nose, to be fair.
It's actually, if you know how to, it's really simple to put a nail up your nose and not feel any pain.
Yeah. Well, if you know how to.
Yeah.
Let's have a go. I've got a nail. I'll pass it to you.
I've not got a nail, but I've got like an audio cable that'll work, won't it?
I've not got a nail, but I've got a 19 era.
Well, Cameron's
Wrong orifice. You don't want to put that up your nose.
Cameron's completely misinterpreted it, and he's now just picking his nose. Yes, and Cameron.
I was going to Google something then. I can't remember what it was.
So yeah, this is the
I
best
do also
episode
like
ever.
how he very casually walks out of the tent and it just explodes behind him.
I've got that on screen right now as like the episode picture. It's so cool.
My last note here is that to sum up this episode, I said people out of that cage.
You cut out them. What did you say?
It's just a bunch of people walking in and out of the fucking cage.
Well,
They're in the cage and then they leave it and then they come.
Oh,
That is mostly just like part 3.
do you know what bit was
Okay.
amazing? Do you know when she cuts the hole in the fabric and then just holds it together? I was like, whoa. Because I thought, how is she going to hide that hole? And then she just grabbed it and I thought, genius. Just never would have thought of it.
Yeah.
A different time.
So, to get it out of the way before you all start clamoring at me because, like, oh, what's the thing? It had an average of 5.45 million views,
There it is.
including
1.5 million.
episode 4 had 6.6 million, which is the highest Sylvester McCoy ever got.
Really?
Yeah.
And rightly,
But only the last
rightfully
part.
so.
Yeah. The first had 5, then 5.3, then 4.9, then 6.6.
Huh. That's really odd.
Yeah, but this is a tend with Classic Who. It tends to drop for one part and then just spike up.
Well, that's because a lot of the parts are shit and unnecessary. Except in this story where they're all amazing.
Apart from clearly part 3, since no one gave a shit about it.
I liked part 3. Isn't that the one with the werewolf?
It ends with the werewolf.
Into the werewolf. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that part.
Ace, at one point at the start, is seen wearing the 4th Doctor's scarf and Mel's top from Paradise Towers.
Oh yeah.
Because
Mm.
obviously they just left it all in the TARDIS.
Next to Mel's body.
Mel's sleeping body.
Jessica
No,
Martin,
Mel
who-
Mel survived and went on to make that game
24
show,
Carat.
didn't she? That was 24 Carat. I love it.
24 karat.
Jessica Martin, who is Mags, I believe,
That's her name, yeah.
went on to have a cameo appearance in Voyage of the Damned as the Queen.
I was looking at her IMDb.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
She's-
old?
That's mad.
she's the Queen in Voyage of the Damned.
No.
And also went on to star quite a lot in Big Finish as Mags.
What?
And when she wasn't available, Nicholas Briggs did a voice.
Originally,
Hello, I'm Mugs. Hey, what's going on here?
originally 3 parts, and it was also
Hello, I'm
originally meant
Mags.
to appear second in the series as a second serial story before Silver Nemesis, and so this provided some errors with Silver Nemesis as that appears before this now, such as Ace in that already has Flower Girl's earring on her jacket, and she blows up her bag filled with Nitro 9 at the end of that to destroy the Cybermen. And then at the start of this, she's just gone, "Oh, where's my Nitro 9 and my bag?" You blew it up, love.
Oh.
Or
Head
maybe
out of
she
order.
forgot Cameron. She's only human.
No, it's because they filmed them to go in a different order and then showed them in a different.
Yeah, she was aired out of order, right?
Yeah.
Happens a lot, doesn't it?
Also, this is the longest title in Classic Who for a story.
Oh, and the best.
At 6 letters, 6 words long. It is then the longest up until The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
Actually, I
What
think
about-
you'll find actually the longest episode title is the 5th Doctor story, Kinder. There's just a lot of silent A's afterwards.
See, I always pronounce that kinda,
I always do that.
but I've never seen it, so I don't.
I thought it was Kinder, and then I heard someone keep calling it Kinder, so I call it Kinder now.
I don't like kinda as an episode title, so
It's like
Yeah.
it's like ish, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
big
it's kind of shit.
No, it's a good story if you want more Tegan.
And as a final piece of trivia, to go back to how Sylvester McCoy just so casually walked away from that explosion, it was a bigger explosion than they were expecting, and it burned part of his costume.
Really? I thought
Yeah,
you were
it's
gonna.
in-
I thought you were gonna
That's
make a joke
brilliant.
about Heath Ledger on the Dark Knight set and be like, "Oh, it wasn't supposed. It was going to explode, and then it didn't, and then it did," or something like that.
No,
But
it was a bigger explosion than they thought, so he wasn't as far enough away, and it singed the back of his costume and stuff, but he just kept walking, because they could only do that scene once.
he kept walking, then a bit of smoke got up his nose. He sneezed, and a nail came out.
Yeah.
So that clip of Sylvester McCoy putting the nail through his nose, that's from
An evening.
charity thing.
Oh right.
Like it was from, I think, called the Secret Police Ball, which my dad was like watching a bunch of like a couple of months ago. He sent me like that episode and goes, "Oh, do you recognize, you like that year's one? Do you recognize anyone like this?" And so I've actually seen that whole Sylvester McCoy thing before. I didn't realize that's the thing you were talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
He's also a physical comedian, and you can see that a lot in this episode with how he just ragdolls around.
He's great.
And it is a very good story. I can't remember if they do, but they should have done more of that sort of stuff with him. Not turned him into an evil monster in his 3rd series.
on YouTube, towards if you go into like the compilations of Doctor Who outtakes, a lot of them are Sylvester McCoy ones, and they're all amazing. Of ones where he just falls over, or he forgets his line, then keeps talking gibberish. It is great.
I can't remember which series it's in, but there is the bit where one of his companions is in a water tank and they start to drown and he can tell something's wrong, so he deliberately flubs his line to show that something's wrong and he just starts swearing.
I've not seen that.
That rings a bell. I only really know about the survival one where he's shouting, "Stay fucking still!" He just goes off on one.
I don't know, but because obviously
Ooh,
they
Firebrand and Angel, nice.
he isn't meant to swear, so when he swears they know something's wrong, so it's just like he swears and then it's like, get her the fuck out the tank.
What
Oh, what?
Stay there.
what do you think of his accent? Because I don't really think it sounds Scottish, to be honest.
He is Scottish, though,
he
isn't
wasn't.
he?
Yeah,
It's
I
It
know.
quite a
wasn't a
light
Scottish
accent.
accent.
I know
I
he's
think-
Scottish, but it doesn't sound Scottish.
I
But I've
think
been
I'm
told...
quite jealous of your Mandalorian t-shirt.
Me?
Mm.
And no one else is wearing it. Who else would it be? I've just got a plain yellow T-shirt on.
Well,
With a little
you know,
pocket.
there is that one episode where he just sits at home with a big yellow t-shirt on.
Yeah.
Little pocket. I can put Sylvester McCoy in it.
But yeah, so Chris from the Great Mates group said that he does have a Scottish accent, but it's just not like heavy Scottish. And I was
It's very light.
like, he also said Paul McGann's doctor has a Scouse accent, and I was like, he definitely doesn't. I'm from Liverpool.
Where he's from, he's done.
It's the most
No.
London accent ever, like generic London accent.
That bit I was talking about was in Battlefield.
Oh, the episode you wanted to watch.
Yeah, I love Battlefield. It's got the Brigadier and punching a demon.
Oh, he's from the west coast of Scotland.
Is there an Ed's thoughts for this
Oh, viewer
Nah.
thoughts. Ed's thoughts. Ed,
No.
Ed, I had no
That's
thoughts
your
about
job, Paul.
Ed actually said he hasn't seen it.
What's everyone's like out of 10s then? 'Cause
9 or 10, I'd say.
really,
I haven't got any problems with it, really.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
Just because I remember liking it when I first watched it, but I was just so bored watching it this time.
It's not bad, but I was bored by it.
I'd give it an 8 or 9 because I'm
Oh,
like,
cheeky.
I do really enjoy it, but I have only ever seen it twice, and there's a reason it's been years between them.
Well,
Between
it's
the
Oh,
two
I last watched it
rewatches,
in-
it's like
September, August.
classic
September time.
Doctor Who. It's not like modern Doctor Who, though, where you can just rewatch a series any time you want.
yeah,
For
Well,
one,
no, because these later series, like Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, it is quite easy just to watch an entire series
No, yeah.
because they're
I
short.
did, yeah.
Yeah, it's
But,
only
like-
4 stories.
they're not as easy to come by for a start until BritBox came out, because
Yeah.
I've had it on
Yeah.
DVD for ages.
you'd have to buy every single story of a series on DVD, and there's
True.
also lights, and it's also shit.
Or
for
just
the most part.
go on Dailymotion because they're all on there. So
Yeah.
they've got
But,
French
like-
subtitles though, so that's a bit annoying. Yeah,
But, yeah, I
That
would
is
say
something I can imagine Chopper doing.
it's definitely not as bingeable in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form as the new one. So,
Well, that's why it's taken, like, Dan, 2 months at this point?
oh,
I'm still on the first series.
I think it's a massive improvement compared to like, even though it's my favourite era, the Pertwee run, in terms of like pacing and just how much material you've got to sit through, how long some of the cliffhangers can be. Because
Yeah.
one of the things they used to do a lot was like, especially in the 70s stuff, they'll show an entire scene where the cliffhanger was in the next episode to really pad it out. So if you're binging it back to back, it's
Fucking hate
horrible because you get to the end of a cliffhanger of John Pertwee pulling a weird face, you get your sting, and then it plays the titles, and you've got to sit through another set of titles, and then that entire scene again. Sometimes it plays like the past 7 minutes of the episode because they're really pushing it for
Some
time.
of them, it was like 7 minutes
Yeah,
from the
I,
last episode.
I started watching Classic Who last year now, like this time last year, and I'm still on season 1 because it's shit.
I'm halfway through the Aztecs. I am like,
the
The
Aztecs is
Aztecs
good.
is so boring.
yeah. I don't.
If you don't at
It's one of
least
the
enjoy the
best stories
Aztecs,
I've
then
watched.
you might want to just skip to a
Ma-
different Doctor.
I've enjoyed like most of them except for the Edge of Destruction, which is shit.
I mean, yeah, I'm
But, like-
enjoying Aztecs.
It's a bit-
It is a
there's
bit
always-
weird. They're all.
There's always so many unnecessary, boring, stupid episodes.
There's loads. Like 70% of it is that. The thing
Like-
is that if you're enjoying it, don't force yourself to watch it.
Well, most of my enjoyments like came ironically from like weird shit, like there's brains in jars screaming as they get smashed open.
Yeah,
And,
some of
like,
it can be unintentionally
Weird,
like funny.
weird sound mixing and stuff like that. But like, in terms of plot, they're just okay. Another thing I have with Classico is just like, there's no point me rewatching any of it because I've still got like fucking like 99% I haven't seen. So like, I'd rather just spend the time watching another one that I haven't seen. But I also don't want to just because I don't want to watch another like 4 seasons of like boring like 8-episode long like first Doctor episodes.
Yeah.
So I didn't know whether to just skip to like the 6th Doctor and then like watch from there and then go back. But because that seems to be the part I like the most so far, like Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy and Tom Baker. But that's
If
like,
only you had said you didn't want to sit through like 7 parts of shit Doctor Who before I watched Invasion.
I
You
made
still
it very
know
clear. I made it very clear I did not want to watch Invasion.
Yes, but you said you were going to, and then we got to the day before, and it's like, I've not watched it, and I'm not going to.
Yeah, I mean I will at some point in my lifetime, but not now, not tomorrow. But,
Randomizer.
Randomizer.
it's so random.
It's
What do we want to do? Do you want to do
XD.
classic or?
I don't mind.
I can just hit it to any Doctor and do like 5, and we'll
Oh.
just fucking pick from the list.
How come the only 2 10th Doctor episodes we've done are ones where he's not even in it? Like,
Right, yeah, I'll just hit randomize a few times then. Drum roll, please. Dust off the drums. He's got bongos this time. Okay,
The Doctor's Wife.
next one.
Give it another go.
The Doctor's Wife.
No, thank
Yeah.
you.
I like that one.
I've had enough. I really don't want to do another Chibnall episode because I really don't want it to be until we get to series 13.
Okay.
Another episode of this podcast where I'm just shouting at Chibnall.
Okay,
Well,
so
I've
Dan
done
wants to
enough.
do that.
I've
one.
I've done
Enjoying
enough
your
of that.
stuff. Jesus
That's not
Christ.
how it works, Paul.
We do need to do.
The Doctor's Wife.
So, yeah, that is everything for
So,
this week.
let's round this one out.
If you would like to follow us on Twitter, don't. But you can find us at the Shobocast on Twitter, Instagram, Bebo, MySpace,
Gmail.com.
Mail.
You
Tiscally,
simply have to be on email these days.
You simply must. If you want to follow us in real life, then I'll post.
Call the police!
socially distanced, of course.
Of
Socially
course.
distanced, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, you can email us your thoughts and bollocks and stuff like that over to Dan,
Not
actually.
to
Shobocast@gmail.com.
I mean, literally, if you just want to have a conversation, I always have my phone on
if you
me
just want to
100%
talk
of
about
the
anything
time,
at all, you can
and I
talk to
will
Paul.
literally
That
just
rhyme.
chat shit to you. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. This has been
A good episode for a change.
this has been alright.
yeah, it's
We
both
recommend
short
the
than
greatest
most
show
of
in the
them.
galaxy.
Both the episode we watched and the episode we've recorded.
Have we stopped recording now?
No.
Oh, okay.
And never
Next
stopped
bit of
recording.
news is goodbye.
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 That's me
Goodbye.
waving.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
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 Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
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 Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.
Goodbye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, should have done it like someone hanging up the phone. You know where they're like, okay, bye, 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 bye.
Yep,
Yeah, bye.
Ragnarok.
Have
Bye.
you stopped recording yet?
Have we stopped recording now?
No, I can do.
Dan never stops recording. It's the golden rule of Dan.
It's all
The
been
only
one
time Dan
episode.
stops recording is when you said you were going for the shit. And that's the only time he shouldn't have stopped
I do
recording.
need a bit of a shit, actually.
Me too.
I needed one when we
Quite a
stopped.
big burger I had before the